Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And there is a lot of news, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lot of news going on. I mean, there's almost too much news for this video, right? I have a live stream time. I'm recording this on Thursday, which means I'm playing a little bit fast and loose. Like, not fast and loose, a little bit dangerously. I'm playing a little bit dangerously because I like to record news videos on the day I release them in case there's new news, and there really might be new news by the time this comes out. If there is, expect an insert, right? If they're expecting it, not right now, but expect an insert where it is applicable. I will tell you where I think there might be new news when it happens. But anyway, I digress. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna tell you a lot of what I think. Right? That's gonna be a major feature of this video. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. And really, genuinely, if you're somebody who disagrees with me, absolutely let me know, right? Let me know why you disagree with me, and don't just go, you're toxic, just make up words or whatever. Actually, tell me what you disagree about, right? That's, I find that interesting. I had like a weird exchange. That's how I would describe it. A weird exchange on Facebook this week. This guy, it was really bizarre, okay? It was really bizarre. He, harassed Peter Purvis on Twitter, right? Peter Stephen Taylor on Twitter, because he's a bad person, on the bad side. He basically said, please shut up so we can be sad when you die, which is really not a nice thing to say, especially to an elderly gentleman. But, it's always idiot children, right? It's always idiot. But, I'm of the belief that it's better to have a conversation, talk to people with respect, even if they are idiot children, because, we've all been idiot children from that every now and again. So I said, listen, do you want to come on my channel? We can talk this out. The guy was just like, you're toxic and you hate women. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? You're completely insane. But, again, if you have a different point of view of me, let's have a conversation. It's not going to be it's not the end of the world to be wrong. That's really, I think, the something that the whole world really needs to know. It's not the end of the world if you're wrong. Everybody's wrong every now and again, which I really think that's what's that one fear, the fear of being wrong, the fear of humiliation because you're wrong, is driving so much insanity in the world right now. Just so much insanity, which we're going to be looking at through the news. Some of the news is actually pretty good. Okay, I'm excited and happy with some of the news. We're going to take the piss out of a fair amount of news as well, because that's just what we do. Anyway, as I said, like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up to my Substack. Substack is my email newsletter. Lets you know where to find me in case I'm ever banned from YouTube, because I do say heretical things. I do say, oh, I'm not sure men can have babies. Of course I'm sure they can have babies, YouTube. Don't ban me, but I'm not sure. But YouTube, I'm not sure. I am sure. Of course, if you tell me they can have babies, men can have babies. But that kind of gets my channel in trouble a lot, right? A lot. So if I'm ever offline, I post videos every freaking day. If I'm ever offline, you can find me through my Substack. Plus, I give out stuff on my Substack, right? I got a Rumble account as well. I got a bunch of stuff. I give out stuff on my Substack. So I put out old Gallifreyan Guardian news pages from the 80s or 90s or 2000. I always find that interesting, right? I'm putting out out of print Alan Moore strips right now from Doctor Who magazine. Which why are they not reprinting them? Yeah, there is a reprint going on of the Dalek stories, right? The Doctor Who magazine's Dalek stories. I had a list somewhere of what's going to be in, but that sounds quite exciting. But I would like all those backup strips collected. That would be freaking awesome, right? That would be absolutely awesome. Anyway, you can get them on my Substack. Plus, if it's Friday, I put this out on a Friday. It's going to be. I always put out a one of the Virgin New Adventure novels as a PDF for you if you're delight and delectation. You can read this forgotten era, which big finish. Come on, let's get a few of those books on tape going. That would be awesome, right? I don't want anybody to forget the New Adventures era, because it was freaking awesome, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, as I love most of Doctor Who. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack. I think we covered everything. Some of my paid Substack as well. I put out more exclusive content on that. I'm actually not that behind this month. I might actually try and be able to catch up this month. That would be exciting. So basically, it's an excuse for you to throw me money, which I will never ever try and dissuade you from doing. Right? It doesn't matter who you are or how despicable you are. If you want to give me money, I will accept it, right? I will accept it. That might make me a bit of a Jewish stereotype. I don't know what to tell you. You can only be who you are, baby. Fine. Let's start looking at the news. First bit of news I'm actually excited about. I'm genuinely excited about. Where is it? Over here. Doink. Doctor Who gets behind-the-scenes spin-off series on BBC Three. So the interesting thing is, I got this rumour, was it yesterday sometime, right? Yesterday morning I got the rumour, and then before I could make a video about it, we could talk about it, it became fact, right? This article came out. The people have been speculating this is going to happen. I think we're getting a lot of content. I think we're going to get a dedicated Doctor Who channel. Oh, wouldn't that be freaking awesome? And look, I just would really, really like to tell Apple, right? Apple, I know you're listening, because you listen to everything. Buy Paramount, right? Buy Paramount. Why? So you can add it to your streaming service. So first you get more popular stuff. You get Survivor, which is really the main thing I watch on CBS, right? I actually genuinely still love Survivor. Go figure. But also you get the entire Star Trek catalogue. People would pay $4.99 a month to have the entire stop making the bollocks awful Star Trek that you're making, okay? Just stop all of that. Keep Strange New Worlds, I quite like that. That's not bad. But just have that on your platform. All Star Trek, HD, streaming all the time. People will pay $4.99 a month for that. I think we're getting something similar with Doctor Who, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? You have a Doctor Who hub, right? I think they're looking at the Disney Plus Star Wars channel and Marvel channel as a template, which means there's a lot of stuff they've got to put on there. This is the first bit, but look, I'm hoping for animation, all kinds of stuff, right? I really am looking forward to all that. I'm hoping for that and looking forward to it. Doctor Who gets behind-the-scenes spin-off series on BBC Three. I didn't think BBC Three was going anymore. I don't live in England, so I am occasionally behind the times. I didn't think BBC Three was a thing anymore, but apparently it is. The reporting show will begin with the 60th anniversary special and the surprise return of David Tennant and Catherine. It's not a surprise return anymore. Right, it's 3 months old or 2 months old. It's not a surprise return. You can only have a surprise at first. That bit where you go, surprise! After that, the surprise is over. Right? That's right. But my son who's going into the army in, 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, a big strapping lad now. I remember when we have the holiday called Purim in Judaism and in Israel. And Israel's a big thing. It's basically you dress up in costumes and you get insanely drunk. You give each other gifts of food. It's a really cool holiday. It's a really fun holiday. So the kids all dress up. And one year he wanted he was such a cute little kid. Oh my God. He wanted a Power Rangers costume, right? So we got him the Power Rangers costume. What do you get? Okay, this kid is the cutest kid in the world, right? So he's still pretty cute. He's just a big strapping kid now. So he got the costume out, went surprise, right? He's like, it was the greatest moment ever, right? The next day, he's like, can I see my costume again? I said, sure, no problem. Well, can you say surprise and make it a big deal? And we did. It was like, he loved it again, right? I was kind of the same when I went to meet Tom Baker when I was like, oh yeah, that's not. But I was like, I don't know, 5, 6. Fagan's bookshop in Mill Hill, right? It was great in the 70s. Tom Baker with all these appearances. As before organised fandom, when he just connected to kids, right? It was awesome. And I remember meeting him right? My eyes were like the size of saucers, my mother said, and like I remember his smile, right? He takes his hat off, he puts it on me, and 50 years later you get this, right? This is basically where it all came from. So thank you, Tom. Anyway, I digress. The Rawdon show will begin at 6 a.m. Blah blah blah. So I had that whole tangent because it said surprise. Okay, you never know what will lead me into down a weird path, right? You never know what could happen. Returning Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies has commissioned this. I like that he has commissioned it, right? It's not the BBC, because Russell T Davies is in charge. Oh, I do want to address, I'm going to talk about this on my live stream as well. He's been saying some real bonkers stuff and been quite, I would say, insane and nasty about people who don't share his politics, right? We've been seeing that around. Look, the thing about Rusty Davies, I'm a big apologist for him because I love his work, and that's why is it good to be an attractive person? Because attractive people get a better deal in life. They get treated better in life. Why? Because when troglodytes like normal people like me look at attractive people, we enjoy it, right? It makes us feel good, so we're nicer to them. Same Rusty Davies. He's made a lot of very good TV for me with this, so I like him, and I am an apologist for him. I'll be an apologist for him up until I can't be, right? And when there's no way of saying, oh, this new era is not going to be a liberal progressive platforming, more of the same that we've seen. It would actually going to be fun and entertaining. And when we see it, if it is like the average TV out today, I will tear it apart. I promise you, I will tear it apart. Same way I tore apart Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. By the way, if you like Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, good for you, right? Don't let me not liking it bother you, right? I bought season 23 and 24 on Blu-ray, even though it didn't do much at the time being a Doctor Who fan. That didn't endear you to the ladies. Let's put it that way. They didn't say, really? You like Torah of the Time Lord? Tell me more. Well, wouldn't it be great if it was like that? Do you ever see that Seinfeld where George Costanza, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't help you. George Costanza, he realizes everything he says, everything he does is wrong. He just chooses to do the opposite. So this attractive woman, meets him in a restaurant, and he says, "Hi, what's your name? Tell me about yourself." He says, "My name's George. I live at home with my parents. And I'm unemployed," right? And she goes, "Really?" He realizes just doing the opposite will make a great make his life great. That never worked, right? That never worked with Doctor Who. Although I did, by the time we got to Battlefield, it was kind of cool again, as I recall. That's just me for you. Okay, fine. Returning showrunner has commissioned a special behind-the-scenes series ahead of the next season with the new Doctor Ncuti Gatwa, according to reports. The BBC Three Doctor Who spin-off series will be titled Doctor Who Unleashed, as opposed to Doctor Who Confidential. Okay, I like Unleashed, and gives fans a sneak peek at the filming process, beginning with the 60th anniversary special next year. Now, one of the things I loved about the Rusty Davies first run, right? Firstly, I loved how much he loved it, right? But I loved the inside look that you got at it, right? You got an incredible inside look at the making of Doctor Who, and it really educated me a lot. And this is why I think I understand him reasonably well, because I've listened to everything he's had to say for 15, 20 years now. I've absorbed everything. And I understand when you're speaking publicly, you're not being entirely honest, but I think he's reasonably honest, right? So anyway, I love the inside look that you got into the making of the series, right? And I that sort of stuff I adore, right? I'm slowly plowing through the season 22 Blu-ray box set because I want to see everything, right? I want to hear every opinion. I want to get every memory. I'm just I like all this stuff, right? And more than that, I think if you're a kid and you want to get into writing, you love Doctor Who, you see Rusty Davies talking about it. You see it was like Matt Irving being on Blue Peter when I was a kid. It made people go into special effects. It's just great, right? The more of this stuff there is, the better it is. And I think that's really why it's been reasonably tragic that Chris Chibnall has been so disconnected from the audience, right? I think there was an audience out there, but like it's been a very closed off production, and even the fans of the era kind of get screwed over by it, don't they? So Toronto is giving fans a sneak peek in the progress, beginning with the 60th anniversary special next year, and the surprise return, still not a surprise, of Catherine Tate and David Tennant. According to the Mirror, Mirror's normally a good source. Mirror talked about Jodie and Chibnall leaving months, like 6-8 months before they confirmed it, right? The series will apparently be similar to Doctor Who Confidential, with the behind-the-scenes sister show that ran from 2005 to 2012. It will reportedly continue to air alongside the next full season. I also love the director's commentary they put out as podcasts, right? That was wonderful. Him, Phil Coulson, just the random other people. It was just a great time to be a Doctor Who fan, right? If you came into Doctor Who after that, you have no idea, right? We went from being, like, as I was saying earlier, when I was a kid in school, Doctor Who just being an embarrassment, right? Colin Baker it was just an embarrassment. Seth McCoy got kind of cool again, but then, poof, it's gone, right? It's gone. And Doctor Who just generates a reputation of not being very, very cool, right? And you being a Doctor Who fan is just a very English thing, like English people do. Weird, ungainly, strange things, right? Literally, you just do. We're an eccentric nation. And it kind of fit into that. Then 2005 happens, Doctor Who comes back, and it's huge. It's huge, and it's everywhere, and it's cool, right? And it was a great time to be a fan. Honestly, that first couple of years, just our heads were spinning, right? Our heads were maybe the first 10 years. It blows my mind. A source told the publication that Davis is aware that Doctor Who fans can never get enough content. Well, he might have heard this. I mean, just look at the proliferation of Doctor Who on YouTube. It's everywhere, right? I think that's got a lot to do with the official news channels being a monoculture, right? A monoculture that reflects Davis's culture, right? But I don't think that's something they're going to be able to put back in the box, right? People are going to have their say. A source when David is aware that fans can never get enough content. He thought the time was right to bring back the behind-the-scenes show, which will document the comebacks and the show and how the special was made. I can't wait. Right, I can't wait. I want to know everything. I want to know how this happened. Right, I want to know how Rusty Davis going back happened. I want to know how Shitty got what happened. I want to see his audition. Right, I really want to see his audition. I really hope they put that on some of the Blu-rays. Radio Times has contacted Doctor Who representatives who declined to comment at this time. Well, this Chris Chibnall's probably sitting in the corner crying. Speaking earlier this year, ahead of the broadcast return at BBC Three's channel. Speaking earlier this year, ahead of the broadcast return on BBC Three. Oh, it is going back. Okay. The channel's controller, Fiona Campbell, teased potentially very exciting things under discussion when asked whether former shows such as Doctor Who Confidential could make a return. We're in the new world, but we just come out of COVID and every schedules are being reassessed and changes all the time. It's very excited, but it does change. It's a very fast moving at the minute. Okay, but I am genuinely excited about this, right? Next story. When I say I'm excited about it, no, not really. I've never enjoyed Segun Akinola's music, right? I am convinced he only got was in consideration because he's black, right? I am convinced, and people hate. How dare you call somebody a diversity hire? I'm not the one bloody doing it. I'm not the one diversity hiring people. I'm not one judging people solely on their skin color. I think that's a disgusting practice. I genuinely do. Actually, I'm not just saying that for the effect. I genuinely, if you knew me personally, I've always been offended by that. I genuinely think it's disgusting. But he's leaving, right? He's leaving. I think much like Jodie Whittaker, not the best fit for the role. I think his music was dull, right? Yeah, I think that's fair way to dull and repetitive, and it just didn't uplift me in the same way Murray Gold's music is. So people have been asking, is Murray Gold coming back? Is Murray Gold coming? Who knows? I hope so. I hope we get one of those Rusty Davis 2 Hearts Plus I don't know, bar of gold or something on Instagram soon. That there. Oh, just imagine, right? Wouldn't that be fantastic? I would be surprised. I would be surprised if he doesn't come back. I mean, unless he just really doesn't want to do it anymore. I really hope he does, right? I really hope it does. Doctor Who composer exiting the show after Jodie Whittaker's final episode. Current Doctor Who composer Segun Akinola announces he is leaving the show at the end of 2022 alongside Jodie Whittaker and Christian Hall. Now, when I said he was hired because he's black, I want to really, really clarify that. I think if he was white and called Reg Smith, he wouldn't even got an interview, right? I really do, because I think that's how Christian will views the world. Right, because eventually when people finally admit that, they go, "Well, he's just rejecting social racial imbalance, whatever." So we're all agreeing, right? It's all this is amazing. The only reason people deny things is because they know it's true, and admitting it makes them look bad. I'll go back to something I said at the beginning of this video. People do not want to admit they're wrong, right? Under any freaking circumstances, they never want to admit they're wrong. Doctor Who composer Segun Akinola announced he'll be leaving the show alongside current creative team as he prepares for the reinvention of de-invention. It's going back to what it was. Reinventions. It's reinventing itself back to being popular. The long-running British sci-fi show, which first aired on the BBC in 1963. Oh, really? I think you're backing up a little bit there. Okay, now current music composer Akinola confirms he too will be stepping down following Whittaker's final episode. Akinola took over from the revival composer Murray Gold in 2018 and scored every episode. And he reuses the music over and over again. The one I really hate, right? The piece of music I really hate, which he uses a lot, is just when there's this weird background. Like, what the hell is that? It doesn't make Mandip Gill seem more convincing, right? It does. I mean, I don't know, maybe put a paper bag on her head. Maybe she'll be a paper bag on your head and draw a face on it. That may emote better than Mandip can do. Or maybe better than maybe they should all do that. Just put paper bags, like little googly eyes on them and big smile. They would seem like human beings then, maybe. I don't. Again, if you like it, God bless you, baby. Don't have me hating it make you stop liking it. I wish I understood why people liked it, though, right? I wish I understood why people liked it, and they liked Doctor Who, right? How do you connect these two weird things? They seem very, very, very different. And people go, oh, but yeah, it says Doctor Who on it. And yeah, imagine if, and I wish I could do this. If I'm a billionaire, this is the reason I'm not a billionaire, I would buy the guard because I'll be broke in 3 weeks. So the things I'll do, I'll build a life-size Starship Enterprise. And yes, I would freaking build a life-size Starship Enterprise. Do not think that wouldn't happen. Classic hobby. But I think I'll do I'll buy the Guardian and turn it into a right-wing tabloid, right? And they say, look, still the Guardian. Well, I don't know why you want. And it'll probably do very well. I'll put boobs on page 3 just to really grind it in, right? And that's how similar, this Doctor Who is to the rest Doctor Who from my perspective. I don't get the connection. I don't get it at all. But I guess there's one there. Fine, as I were talking about Sakura. I'm like, where are we? So Akula in 2018 has scored every episode. Doctor Who's new look, current episode of Doctor Who new look of the show, the one that's insanely popular. Speaking to followers on Twitter, the composer confirms that next episode will be my final one, revealing he had always planned to leave long. Oh, shut up. Like Chris and Jodie, yeah, really. I'm just assuming. I do think Russell is hiring. Partially on identity, but I think you gotta have talent, right? You gotta be able to bring it. And I'm not. Look, I don't want to say he's untalented. He was just what he delivered was just not very good. In my mind, it just wasn't very, very strong. So, it's not a diss on him. Well, it kind of is, but it's he thanks a lot of people. Blah 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 blah. Okay, hey, who cares? He's going. Will we ever see him again? They may tell you what. Are you going to bring him back for the Big Finish stuff? The Dr. Ruth Adventures and the Session 1 Master. Maybe. Speaking of the Session 1 Master, his wife's also got a job as well. Angelina Mohindra, who just relentlessly looks awesome, right? I have no idea how she always looks so good. I really liked their what season was it? I think maybe season 17, the Blu-ray release. They have the thing called Behind the Sofa, where you have people talking about the episodes that the stories they're watching. And you normally, they did up until a few releases ago, have somebody from the current era. And so you had, no, it was the Pertwee one, because it was the first Master stuff, right? So you had Sash Dewan and it was Anjali Mohindra commenting on, and I love that, right? And honestly, I kind of like Sash Dewan. I don't like his master. I think it was completely rudderless and didn't make any sense at all. But at least he can act. Like, at least he can bring it. I've seen him bring it before. Anyway, so this is really exciting news. Not for me, however. I was never that into the Sarah Jane Adventures. I watched it because I felt it's my obligation as a Doctor Who fan. My kids kind of liked it. I'm not even sure I saw all of them. Right, but I did. It was like maybe feel all warm and glowy inside, but basically it was a kid's show. It wasn't for me, right? There's a lot of people who grew up with it and they love it and they're really excited that it's coming back in a sequel series. And this is smart. This is a smart move for Big Finish to do this. I wouldn't actually, because I'm not buying it. I wouldn't mind if the Session 1 Master crosses over into this. Like, it wouldn't bother me at all. Again, because I'm not buying it, so it doesn't really bother me. But let me know in the comments, right? Is that a plus or a minus for you if they did that, right? They link it into the Jodie era. Because for me, more they link into stuff into the Jodie era, the less I'm really interested in it. Because again, I absolutely hate it. I thought it was the opposite of Doctor Who. Fine, let's read this though. A brand new series of full cast audio adventures featuring characters from the Doctor Who spin-off Sarah Jane Adventures is due for release from Big Finish Productions. And again, I am really genuinely happy about this, right? I'm really happy that it's not just these characters who we kind of left very young. We're going to see what they're like 15 years later, right? And I think it's a really great, and I like seeing how Sarah Jane had a big influence on Rani. I couldn't remember the name of the bloody character, right? I like seeing her echoed through that. I think that's beautiful, right? I think that's absolutely beautiful, and it gives me a feeling of continuity, all right? I think it's great. So Rani Chandra is back, and she's got her own spin-off series, and Anjali Mohindra, and I tell you, the bit I felt worse for her ever is when she was in the Jodie episode playing the Scorpion Queen. It was just like, that was just embarrassing. Stars in Rani Takes on the World, set 15 years after the Sarah Jane Adventures first aired on TV. Rani is now a successful journalist living in London, but something otherworldly threatens her beloved city. She steps up to the alien defense. Fantastic! I would like to see her be an independent journalist, have like her own YouTube channel rather than work for some creaking legacy media piece of crap. That's the sort of thing I would expect her to do, right? But it's lovely. It's a lovely idea. Rani Takes on the World Beyond Bannerman Road is due out for release in April 2023. And by the way, I'm probably going to release this as a separate video on my live stream tonight. Somebody has leaked the entire Big Finish release schedule for 2023. It's quite interesting. But yeah. So this is part of their 2023. And it features 3 audio stories. Here Today by Joseph Livster. He hasn't written for Big Finish for a while. Destination Wedding by James Goss, and The Witching Tree by Lizzie Hopeley, who I unkindly called Lizzie Hopeless because I haven't heard a good script from her yet, right? She was one of the new influx of writers who, again, when they were hired because of their identity, it's never a good idea to hire people because of their, and don't tell me they didn't. It suddenly went from being, 80% male, 70 to 80% male writers to being 10% male writers. Now, how did that happen, right? It's because Big Finish I very much believe that to redress injustices of the past, they need to only recruit from a tiny, like a 10 to 20%, 10 to 20% of their potential new writers. And what happens when you do that? The quality nosedives, which is what happened to Big Finish. Quite a few of these writers have actually got a lot better. Like I've listened to a few good stories now. Sarah Grachala, I think, is quite good. Elizabeth Miles, who I thought was Lizzie Hopefully at one point, pulled it together. And a lot of them have developed. I haven't heard anything from Lizzie Hopefully that tells me that yet, but I'm not hearing this because I'm not buying it, so I'm quite happy. Angelina Mohindra said, "There's something so ingrained in me about playing this character that made it all slide straight into place." Well, it hasn't been that long, and it was very in your formative years. But also reprising the roles Rani in 2020 for the lockdown story. Farewell, Jane and Sarah Jane. If you didn't cry during that, there's something inhuman about you. That was beautiful. Right, it was a real springboard into this. Rani, yes, because it's was it Emily Cook is producing this. Was it? And Emily Cook was the person who put that together, and also the production matters that was I thought was very strong as well. It's gorgeous because you feel like Sarah Jane is very much part of it, and who Rani has already come back later in life. Yeah. Listen, I'm feeling very, very well disposed to this, right? Still not buying it, but I'm glad they're making it, right? They still hold on to the life that they shared together and the love and respect. What would Sarah Jane do in this situation is very much in the background. I hope they get K9 in it as well. Wouldn't that be great? Also joining, was it Angeli, is Daniel Anthony reprising his role as Rana's best friend Clyde. In the first adventure, Destination Wedding, Minwa Anna's back as Rana's mum. Gita Chandra, I liked her mum in that, right? I always thought her father was a bit weird, right? He always had this this like seething anger going on. But yeah, okay. Good for them. I hope this runs, right? I hope this one does very well. Who else is doing well is Ncuti Gatwa. What's he doing? He's getting praised by Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling shares his verdict on Barbie co-star Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor Who casting. I'm actually kind of interested in this Barbie movie now, right? I can't believe I'm interested in it. But Ryan can I get rid of this? Okay, but Ryan Gosling has actually made me interested in it. How about that? Oh, there you go. It goes away. There you go. Doing. So Barbie's Ryan Gosling is here for let's just listen to it. He's on the One Show, right? He's on the One Show, and he has a bit of a conversation. Let's hear what he has to say. I'm shooting myself in the foot for this because I got to paste in the bloody audio, which is a pain in the ass. But let's hear what he's got to say.
Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa, he's in it. We saw your T-shirt earlier on. What was it like working with him?
Ncuti, I am such a big fan of Ncuti's. He's the coolest, and him playing Doctor Who is like the most exciting thing that's happening right now. So I'm here for it. Okay,
well, yeah. I mean, listen. Ryan Gosling has never struck me as the most excited person in the world, right? He's never really gone, well, if Ryan Gosling's excited, well, I think that's the definition of excitement. I he's always seeming somewhat understated, somewhat understated excitement. But listen, Ryan, mate, I'm right there with you, okay? I am right there with you. He's actually commented about Doctor Who before. He likes Doctor Who, right? I think he talked about the Matt Smith years. So yeah, listen, Ryan, mate, can we get you in Doctor Who? Who would Ryan be good playing in Doctor Who? I mean, it's certainly not the Master, the meddling monk. Who could he play? I'm trying to think. No, certainly not Drax. Is there any? I'm trying not to gender swap anyway, but Rani or Romana. I guess if you want to do that. Is there any legacy character you'd like to see come back? I'm trying to think of a Time Lord because you have to regenerate him. I'm looking around my action figures, seeing if anything I go, oh yeah, one of them. And I can't think of anybody. I don't know. Maybe bring back Barusa, right? Maybe have Brian Gosling as Barusa. There you go. That's a good idea. You know what wasn't a good idea? Hiring Chris Chibnall to take over Doctor Who. So, Chris Chibnall taking over Doctor Who hasn't really worked out very well. I think it's fair to say it has not really worked out very well. Listen, just in terms of audience appreciation, ratings, quality, financial viability, or any other metric which says it's done well, right? Hasn't done very well. Now, why has it not done very well? Well, there's a lot of reasons there. But I would say, really, the fundamental main reason why it fared so insanely poorly, right? Fared so incredibly poorly is because he's not very good at his job. That's basically it. He's not very good at his job. Or indeed, any aspect of his job, right? If you ever read one of those few production notes in Doctor Who magazine, it's boring. Right? I've never read anything Russell T Davies has written as being boring. Again, he wigged out about people who aren't insanely left wing. That wasn't boring. That was quite interesting. But everything he does is just it's dull. And I don't think he has the talent to be able to do the job. I mean, that's really the bottom line. And I think the reason I can say that is because we've sort of seen it, haven't we? I mean, like, he's just not very good at it. So anyway, everything he's done has been bad. I mean, everything he's done has been bad. There's been a few aspects of the current era where I think have been better. Like, I liked the design of the Cybermen. Right, but I mean, I liked that production design in a lot of things. I like the only thing he ever wrote, which I thought wasn't awful, was the cliffhanger. Well, not cliffhanger. Was the cold opening teaser for the Sontaran episode of Doctor Who Flux, and that was that only section where it ended up where they're fighting Sontarans instead of the Russians. I was like, oh, that's quite a good opening teaser, and that's really it. That is really everything else. It's just poor. It's unprofessionally written. It's unprofessionally written. It's certainly unprofessionally acted. I don't look at the picture of Tegan and Ace here. They're like, oh, it's legitimacy at last. Not really, darling. Not really. It's good. Yeah, this is just going to make you look bad, but. I wish it was only Tegan and Ace that was back. Now, this is from the Doctor Who page on Facebook. How accurate is this? Who knows? I guess we'll all find out, right? Much like Russell T Davies' new take on Doctor Who. Will it be any good? I guess we'll all find out, right? I mean, they got to show it eventually, right? Which is kind of what's going on with this. They're bracing for impact, I think. New details have supposedly leaked for the Centenary special. Promotion will begin in August with a big trailer. See, that sounds unlikely to me. If they're showing it in October, they normally only do the trailers very couple of weeks out, right? I mean, before September, I'll be surprised. And they're saying it's going to be on. Anyway, let's read it. Promotion will be on October, big trailer, and the 90-minute special will air on Sunday. 16th of October. So honestly, if we see a trailer before September, I'll be surprised. I'll be very surprised. If we see it at the end of August, I'll be surprised. But okay, and will also be released in cinemas. Oh, that's going to be impacted. Really? Do you really think there's going to... I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is interest for it. I don't really see it. I don't really see it. Do you? I really don't. So, here's the bigger news, right? So we know that Sophie Aldred and Janet Fielding are returning, right? And boy, Janet, you look better in the behind the sofa stuff. You do not look good in this, right? And Sophie, it's. Look, it's one thing to be an actress when you're young. Right, and then a lot of women leave acting as they get older because really it's women are often, and this is a fair criticism against the entertainment industry. Women are often only written there to be eye candy. I mean, you can see that by how two-dimensional a lot the characters are. Which yeah, again, I hear that. I'm not really supportive of that at all. But you know, like, so look, both of them have left acting, right? When they got older, because they don't look that great anymore, and they look great in terms of human beings, not in terms of actors. And actors have to be a bit easier on the eye. Now, if women stay in acting, they become character actors, right? And it's then it's okay not being that easy on the eye, because they character actors, and they are acting is their profession. Lisa Bauman, right? I mean, she still looks fine, but she's in her 50s, right? She's been a lifelong actress, and you can tell she has the skill to do it. So, you know, Janet and Sophie, maybe you should have sat this one out, right? Maybe this isn't going to make you look that great, but you know, maybe you may be diluted in the mix, because Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and David Bradley will be making cameos alongside a number of other classic companions, including Joe Jones and K9. So I don't know I believe any of this, right? It seems like what the sort of thing that Chris Jimmer would do, right? K9 seems to be really problematic to get in there. I mean, there's a lot of rights to negotiate, and maybe that's something he has an area of proficiency in. Maybe. I don't know. He could be reasonably proficient in that. David Tennant will also be returning for in the special for obvious reasons. No. Okay, so this is counter to the other rumor that's been going around, I reported on it a couple of weeks ago, that the special will end with Jodie regenerating outside the TARDIS, as we've been told, and it will fade to white, right? We won't see who she regenerates into, and there'll just be a sound of laughter over it, leaving on a bit of a strange cliffhanger. I don't see it happening. I mean, I hope that happens. I do hope that happens, but I don't see the people at BBC being able to, like, process doing that, right? So David Tennant returning for obvious reasons. Now, here's a bit which I really hope is true, and I completely believe. Why do I completely believe it? Because it's logical, right? Because it's logical. However, God, the BBC are not happy with the final cut. It's been described as a bit of a mess. Well, what did you bloody expect, right? I mean, honestly, you give a job to Chris Chibnall, right? You give a job to Chris Chibnall, which he is entirely unqualified for, you know? I understand, on paper, he seemed like he might be able to pull it off, right? I understand that. But, like, Doctor Who is the show that finds you out. As we've seen that over and over again. Philip Hinchcliffe says that line. Doctor Who is a show that finds you out. And he just didn't have what it took. He didn't have what it took to write the show. He didn't have what it took to give the show a direction. He didn't give Jodie any direction, I think, which is why she's had such an abysmal performance. He hires people based on their identity and nothing else. His scripts are weak, and they're boring, and they're full of plot holes, and they're confusing, and they're designed to exist within the moment, right? They you can't remember. You don't. If you remember plot points from one scene to the next, nothing makes sense. For reference to that, Doctor Who Flux, right? The way they got Doctor Who Flux to work was just run in it. And how did it go? Crashing, absolutely crashing ratings over and over again. Lower ratings upon lower ratings upon lower ratings upon lower ratings, right? So, yeah, I mean, I will say this. He did get lucky sometimes with hires. I think the person who directed the New Year's special, the Eve of the Dalek, did a great job. Did a great job. How great a job did they do that it wasn't so obvious there was a Dalek that couldn't open a door, right? A special executioner Dalek. It wasn't a special door, and you couldn't have Jodie just run and sonic the door. So, I put a force field up, that should hold it off. No, they didn't even think to do that. This is what I mean by being an incredibly, incredibly unqualified and untalented creator, which he is. He's incredibly, incredibly unqualified and untalented. Everything he touched turns to garbage, right? And I am sorry, right? I am sorry, but that happens to be true, right? I've seen all of his Doctor Who, And none of it's watchable, right? And I love Doctor Who, right? I drip love for Doctor Who. Yeah, I genuinely love that. None of it's been watchable. The performance has been flat. The characterization has been awful. You shoehorn things at the last minute. Oh, look, being LGBTQ is the flavor of the day. Let's make Doctor want to scissor Yaz. I mean, everything's shoehorned in. And there's no development in anything. I'm sorry. He's an utter disaster. He strikes me as the Boris Johnson or Joe Biden of Doctor Who producers. And I wish I knew more about Boris Johnson, but there's got to be a reason why everybody hates him. Like, just everybody hates him. I know why everybody hates Biden, because he's awful, right? That is the level of performance that he has brought to this show, right? So, that was the case at the end of season 11, right? That was the case at the end of season 12. And in season 11, you could say, I hoped at the beginning of season 12 he was going to bring it back from its death spiral that he put it into. But no, he doubled down. It got a lot worse, right? It got a hell of a lot worse. And so I was astounded. That they gave, not only after the rating disaster of was it season 11 and 12, and there was a ratings disaster, right? There's no other way of describing it other than a disaster. It was an absolute rating disaster. They gave him another 6 episodes, and they said, oh no, we're going to give you 8 episodes. You're going to make it even better. I asked myself at the time, is it fair to take the piss, right? Because, listen, it's like you're dealing with somebody who just has low ability, right? Is it fair to take the piss? And I said, it really is. Because I make lots of videos pointing out how freaking awful this has been, right? I make a lot of videos on it. Why do it? Here, this is his performance, right? Let's have a look at the ratings chart. So, where does Flux start? It was... Yeah, so anyway, we went from there to down here, right? This is the is this the Timeless Children? Yeah, this is the Timeless Children, right? Over here. Is it going to show it? Yeah, okay, but yeah. That's when they said, oh yeah, at that point we're going to give when he almost bottomed out. Yeah, let's give him not another 6 episodes, let's give him another 8 episodes. 9 episodes, wasn't it? You got let's give him another 9 episodes and pour a ton of money into it, right? You've seen what he's done, right? You've seen how much he's failed, right? He's failed to a point where he really couldn't fail much more. And these figures are the, I would say, bullcrap, 7-day or plus 20. These are all the plus 28-day figures, right? Which again, I find a little bit sus, right? Give me the live number, right? That's like 1.5 million viewers. So why on earth, BBC, would you be in any way surprised it's a bit of a mess? What has he done that hasn't been a bit of a mess? Yeah, you made it, man. You chose him. You hired him, and you're like, oh, it's a bit of a mess. Of course it's a bit of a bloody mess. What do you bloody expect? I mean, at least with Joe Biden, you had the entirety of the media complex telling you he was going to be good, right? At least you had every news show going, well, he's lying their asses off to you. But with Chris Chibnall, nobody did that. We all saw how useless he was beforehand, and you still gave him the money for these specials, right? So I don't think you got room to complain it's a bit of a mess. If it's a bit of a mess, it's because the BBC is a bit of a mess. And I have to say, that is why I think this is the perfect way of celebrating the BBC centenary. Nothing better represents the absolute degradation of the BBC than Doctor Who, a beloved show, which genuinely beloved. Yeah, the national institution that came back to rapturous applause. It did fantastically. And then the BBC got its hands on it, right? The BBC went insane and wanted to lecture the whole bloody world all the time to tell them they were icky-wicky bigots and waithists, and nobody watched their stuff anymore. Nothing shows the degeneration of BBC than the degeneration of Doctor Who, which is represented here. So they're whining. It's a bit of a mess. Oh boy, it's going to be a bit of a mess. And you are going to be made to feel very embarrassed about it. Why? Because there's going to be a gazillion people like me out there, plus the legacy media going, well, wasn't that awful? Now, how can I say that with so much certainty? Well, if somebody's done the same thing one day, and they do exactly the same thing the next day, you can normally rely on them doing the same thing the third day. This hasn't been 2 days. This has been, 4 years? 4 years of utter failure. 4 years of utter and complete failure, and you're sort of, oh, it's a bit of a mess. Who knew? Who knew? Anybody who ever watched the show, even people like me who watched it under extreme sufferance. So there you go. I hope it's a bit of a mess. And boy, are we going to take the piss. Now, don't get me wrong, Rossi Davis, if you give us more of the same, I'm going to rip the piss out of you too, and I'm going to have fun. Am I going to have fun doing it? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. So hopefully that will not happen. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.